Hello YouTube, this is Nikko. Um, this is actually my first video I'm ever making for YouTube, and it is about hamster care and just my animals that I'm going to be having in general. I've been recently watching a lot of the Animal Mad Kate's videos, and she's really inspired me to make some of my own. So yeah, hopefully this will be informative and very helpful. And I mean, if I'm doing anything wrong or you have a better suggestion for me, am open to any sort of suggestions and everything. I currently live in a teeny tiny apartment, so my hamster kind of stays in my bedroom with me. So you probably won't see too terribly much of my room. And not only that, but I'm moving. There's boxes in the room. It looks like a disaster. It really does. So this will be a cage tour, and hopefully the video won't be too terribly long, and I can do, like at the end, different chew toys I have for him, treats, stuff like that. Just little stuff like that to get this started. I would introduce you to my Chinese ham today, but I just cleaned out his cage, and for some reason that always makes him really sleepy, so he's currently in his little bed sleeping right now, so I won't disturb him. But hopefully you will get to meet him. His name is Omashu. Like I said before, he is a Chinese ham. Actually, it took me forever to come up with the name. I was going to call him Shu because he's a Chinese ham, and she was like the Smith of all Chinese, but he didn't actually ever answer to it, so I just ended up, I don't know how, I called him Omashu one day, and he actually listened, so that's kind of been his name ever since. My parents still call him Shu because they emphasize the name wrong, and he just doesn't listen to them. So when they are talking to him and stuff, they usually just call him Shu, and he sometimes answers, but usually not. Alright, so on with the cage tour. As you can see, it is a 3-floor little home for him. Before this, I actually had a critter trail, and it was absolutely terrible. It was way too tiny. It had 2 floors, and I don't know, he never, the first week I had him, he did stuff, but I don't know, a little bit after that, he just kind of, because it had a detachable ball, and he just kind of stayed up in his ball the entire time and would hoard food up there, and he wouldn't exercise. The only time he'd ever go down is to get some water. And I don't know, it was really bad. It was terrible. He wouldn't exercise, he wouldn't do anything. So a couple weeks ago, I ended up buying this for him because I had enough of that cage. It took me 3 hours to clean it, which was just ridiculous. It really was. I hated the tubing and everything. So I bought him this, and he is always going up and down all the time. But I mean, not so much as of late, because it is a little bit colder in my room because it's October, so it's getting a little cooler. So he's not doing as much, but I kind of expected that because it is chillier. But yeah, I was really happy with this cage. In fact, when I end up getting more hamsters, I plan on using the exact same cage, unless I end up getting a Syrian or something much bigger than a dwarf, but I won't be having a dwarf, anything other than a dwarf, for a really long time. So yeah, on this 3rd floor up here, we have his little bed, because as I said, it is getting cooler out, and he's not doing as much. And when I was cleaning out his cage today, I noticed that he's getting much chubbier than he was when I first bought him. So put his bed right up here, and then I put his food down below on the 1st floor, and his wheel down here as well. So I don't know, just so he has a little bit more exercise in between, so he can always just keep staying active and everything like that. Let's see. I also have a seagrass twist. He loves this thing to death. As you can see, it's chewed so much. He doesn't actually chew that much. That's why I say it's chewed a lot. It's his first one still, so he hasn't been through any, like, he hasn't been through any of them yet. He's still working on the one, but he doesn't chew too terribly much. So that's that. That's all of this floor. Sorry about the lighting. It's darker outside, so I had to turn on a really bright light, and now my shadow is like casting right over the video, of course. Alright, down to the second floor. I have his water bottle here. It is only a 4-ounce water bottle, but it's not the one that came with the cage. I got a different one. The one with the cage was really, really big, and I didn't see the point of it because I change his water every single day. Every single morning when I wake up, I always change it for him. And he doesn't drink all that much. Like this will stay forever here. Like, I can hear him drinking from it at night, but like when I wake up, it's still about the same, maybe like, I don't know, a few centimeters further down than it was before. So this one works perfectly fine for him. Not only that, but I only do have one because you should never put more than one Chinese ham in the same cage. You just really shouldn't. They can fight, and that you don't want that. I usually actually have his food on the second floor, but as I said, I'm trying to make sure he's getting enough exercise between his house, where he spends like all of his time, and then his food, at least for the winter months. Usually, as I said, it will, like, his bed will be not there, it'll be all the way down here, and then his food will be up here with his water. I also have, let me just get in here, I have this really long wooden chew for him. He doesn't chew on it, like, ever, but he will crawl under it or hop over it. It's like he thinks it's an obstacle or something. I know that I have a bunch of these. When I bought them, they came in like a case of like, I don't know, 10 or so, and every time I get him out to play with him, my boyfriend actually sets up like a little obstacle course for him with these, and he just loves it to death. So that's what we really use these for. We don't really use them for chew sticks like they're meant to be. But that's okay. I mean, he's still getting enjoyment out of it, so whatever makes him happy is good enough for me. Also have this little mineral chew in here. Originally I had a salt wheel because I didn't originally buy a Chinese ham. I bought a Russian dwarf. But a week after I got him, he died of, I don't remember what it was, but he died, and it was really sad. But to make up for it, I got another one. I got a Chinese dwarf instead because everyone was like, oh, they're so much friendlier and everything. So for the longest time, he had a salt wheel, and then one day it just kind of hit me. I was like, wait, he can get diabetes. This isn't good. He shouldn't have a salt wheel in there. But I substituted it for a mineral chew. So as you can see, he absolutely adores chewing on this. The first night I actually had this in his cage, he chewed on it for like 2 hours straight. He got like all the icing looking stuff off of it, and yeah, ever since then I've kind of just kept this in his cage because I'll hear him chewing on it at night, which I don't know, which is good for his teeth and everything, makes them nice and filed down. Also have this little wooden star. As I said, he doesn't chew too terribly much, but I mean, you can see, oh, you can't see that. You can see a little bit of teeth marks in it. I usually put this in his cage because he really, really likes this. I know I took it out of his cage, and he was really mad at me, so I put it right back in. Okay, there's that. Also on the second floor, sorry about the creaky floorboards, by the way, I have this apple stick chew thing. Don't know if you can really see that, but he has chewed on it a little bit. He usually doesn't chew too terribly much on it because he does prefer his seagrass twist. But I always put that in his cage because give him plenty of things to chew on. Want to make sure he's not chewing on the bars or anything like that, and I don't know, just give him a little bit of a difference from his seagrass twist if he ever decides he wants a change. So yeah, that's the second floor, and then we come down to the first. Right here is like an edible log thing. It's got a hole which you really kind of can't see because it's so dark in here. It's got a hole in there, and then it's got a hole coming out the side right up here, if you can see that. Yeah. And I've had this for a while now, and he absolutely loves it. Every time it's in his cage, he's always going in and out and in and out, and then going up and then going all the way up, and he loves it. He is really, really active usually when this is in his cage, so I thought since it's getting colder and everything, I'll just go ahead and throw that in there, make sure he's getting enough exercise. Alright, and then this, I'm not sure what this is. It's got like some sort of wooden ball thing inside of it. I bought this last week for him, and this is the first day it's in his cage because I cleaned out his cage today, so every time I clean out his cage, I always switch around his toys, and I try to make the scenery a little bit different for him so he keeps him interested and like, oh, new things, what's going on, I don't understand, stuff like that. It is orange just like this little or big chew is, and I thought it's October. I know he doesn't know that, but I don't know, it makes it look a little more Halloween-ish, which is really, really nice. As I said, I did just put this in today, so I don't know if he's going to play with it or not. I hope he does. But we will see in a few weeks, probably. I'm not going to leave it in for the whole few weeks, but I usually don't start noticing teeth marks for like 2 weeks on some of his toys because he'll chew on them, but you just won't see them. Right, and then right there you can see a teeny tiny little twig looking thing. It's actually a willow stick. He chews on it a little bit, but once again, he really, really loves the seagrass twist more than the other two. But I leave it in there for a change of pace in case he wants to chew on it or whatever he wants to do with it. That's fine with me. Right, and then I've got his little green food bowl right here. It came with the Critter Trail cage, but I liked it a lot more than the bowl that came with this cage. This cage, I didn't like the bowl at all. As you can see, I have just regular old pellets in here because I know that hamsters can be really, really picky with their food, and I don't want him to just pick out all the stuff that tastes good, so all the bad stuff, and only eat that, because Chinese hams have been known to have diabetes, and I really don't want him to have diabetes or anything, so I stick with the pellets. This cage actually came with different types of food and everything, which I will go over here in a moment, but I might end up trying that, but for right now, until all of the pellets are gone, I'm going to stick with the pellets. Put that back. Right, and then I also have his silent spinner wheel. I don't remember what size it is. I know it's not the smallest, it's the next size down. It's not the biggest one you can get. Because this cage did come with a wheel, but it said it was silent, but I played with it before. I just said, yes, this is a silent wheel, because I don't know, I was like, this doesn't seem like it's a silent wheel, and it wasn't. It rattled really, really bad, and so that day I ended up buying him this as well, and this is his favorite thing. You can tell I cleaned out the cage because this isn't a mess, because he is one of the messiest hamsters I have ever seen. Like, he will eat in his wheel. Like, he'll take all of his food and put it in his wheel, and he'll just sit there and eat all of it. And then he'll spin around, and then the food will just get clogged in there. And I actually have to clean his wheel like 3 times a week, just because it is always such a mess. It's just, it's nasty, it's dirty, and it looks bad. It really looks bad. The rest of the cage looks fine, but his wheel, like, you come in and it's like, oh, a nice hamster cage. Oh, a really dirty wheel. I don't like that. Not only that, but I get sick really easily, and so I was just like, I'll just keep that clean at all times. Don't want to risk anything. And as you can see, I have this, like, little blanket down for him, because this is wooden bottom, or not wooden, it's a metal bottom, sorry, a metal bottom, and I know that my desk gets cold sometimes, so I put this down for him. It's just an old receiving blanket of mine. I'm not using it anymore, obviously, so I put this down for him to hopefully keep this metal not so cool and a little bit more warm for him. So that is a cage tour of Omashu's cage. I'm probably not going to do a cage tour every time I clean out his cage, because I clean his cage out once a week. I was doing it every Saturday, but I think it's going to be a little bit more convenient for me if I do it on Fridays now. So I don't see the point of doing a cage tour every single week, because his cage usually doesn't change that much. Like, usually things stay the same in his cage, just I change out different toys. I have only been changing out his toys when I clean his cage, but I don't like that. I'm going to be changing that this week, actually. I'll be changing his toys twice more in the week, probably once on Monday and once on Wednesday, and then on Friday when I clean his cage, I'll be doing that. And hopefully it'll keep him nice and interested in his cage. I'm obviously not going to switch around everything for him, because his cage won't be clean. Yeah, and this is a almost 18-minute video, so I think I'll just leave this video as a cage tour, and then do another video for other stuff that I use, like toys and stuff. Oh, actually, currently I have over here, sorry about the empty bookcases, as I said, I'm moving. Over here on my dresser, I actually have another one, because as I said, I'm getting a robo this coming week. It's not set up or anything, it doesn't have anything in it yet, because I didn't see the point of putting anything in it when there's no hamster in it. And when I move, this is not going to be all the way across the other side of the room, because that's really inconvenient for me. I'm going to actually have this all the way over here. This bookcase will not be there anymore. It'll be elsewhere. So, yeah. Well, I hope you liked the video. I hope it was helpful, and I mean, if you would do anything differently, or you have any suggestions for me, go right ahead, leave a comment, that's fine. And I will see you all later. Bye!